But I got sort of burned through rock and roll and got tired of the constraints of the song and dance form, even though, as Lou says, at some level, it's all song and dance. But three chords and the strictures of 4/4 time and the relentless backbeat. I was a drummer, by the way. Just felt a little too confining, and so my buddies and I started listening to more and more adventurous things. And I think I owe a lot to Frank Zappa, because on the backs of Zappa's early LPs, always somewhere in the fine print was this little slogan, this defiant little slogan: "The present day composer refuses to die." Edgard Varese. And my little rock and roll buddies and I would read that, and we'd scratch our heads and say, you know, I wonder who this Varese guy is. And one day, my good friend Richard Einhorn, who is a composer, was rummaging around in the record bins in a shop in the West Village, and he came across the music of Edgard Varese, Volume 2. And, you know, there he was with the mad scientist hair and the eyebrows and scowl on his face, and he brought it home, and we put it on the turntable, and, you know, our ears started bleeding. It was like nothing we'd ever heard before. And we thought, what is this noise? You know, this is awful. Play it again. You know? It was like the first time I tasted single malt whiskey. You know? It was like, tasted like an old rope dipped in turpentine, and, you know, pour me another. So we kept listening to Varese over and over and over again, and, you know, gradually we began to figure out how to listen to this. I mean, at first it seemed that it was just this this barren wasteland, you know, with nothing to. How did you know where you were in this musical landscape? There was nothing recognizable, nothing familiar you could grab onto to locate yourself. But over time, you know, we began to hear it. You know, this tattoo on one note from an oboe, or this little riff from the snare drum, punctuated by outbursts, unison outbursts in the percussion, and then we got scores, and we started figuring out, we started navigating through the forbidding deserts of Varese. And in time, Varese led to Cage, led to Morton Feldman, led to Stockhausen, Xenakis, Ligeti, and I must have been about 15. And again, it's from a recording. I would go into the record shop, and LPs were $1.79, I think, and go into to the record shop where Floyd, who was a genuine beatnik, you know, with the beret and the goatee and the whole thing, Floyd was the proprietor, and, you know, he'd steer me to the latest weird thing that nobody else would buy. And I saw this LP with this kind of hot pink photograph on the cover of this guy sitting on the deck of the Staten Island ferry with leg crossed and his fedora cocked and his Coke bottle glasses and his cigarette dangling out of his mouth, looking right at you. It was Morton Feldman, The Early Years. And all I knew about, what was this, 1969, 70? All I knew about Feldman was that he was a pal of John Cage's. But this was a solitary experience. I remember going into my room and putting this on, and the first piece on the disc was Piece for 4 Pianos. And I thought I had died and gone to heaven. And it's an 8-minute piece, and I just kept picking up the needle as it would end and playing it again and again. And I think it was right about then I decided this is what I wanted to do with my life.